What's up, guys? My name is SnyperSama, but you can call me Sniper. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we have day 7, 8, 9, I don't remember what day it is. Either way, this is part of my 14-part series of one build for every single weapon, thanks to Title Update 4 and the Gogmazios drop with Gogma-Artian weapons. Today, we have the Dual Blades, and these Dual Blades are insane, okay? Not only are they crazy because of the amount of element that they put out, but you're able to take you're able to have so much advantage, and you are able to customize these in such a way now with the active skills for Gogma weapons. Okay, what I mean by that is right here. You can see here that we have 3 attack infusions, and then we have Raydow's Voltage with element boost, attack boost, and sharpness boost. This for me is the perfect reinforcement bonus. Okay, ideally I would go for more element boost, more attack boost on these two, but this is the best, and the reason it's the best is because you are able to get full advantage. Okay, ideally, at least on Dual Blades, this is perfect. The reason I am not going for Affinity on Dual Blades is because of a completely separate thing that I will discuss in just a little bit. Okay, on my Dual Blades, specifically my Dragon Dual Blades. Dragon is the best element, at least for fighting every monster. And that is because it has the least amount of monsters that are resistant to it. Okay, when you are out fighting, a lot of the harder monsters that you're fighting, say something like Arkfeld, Gormagala, Jin the Had, Gogmazios now, all of them are susceptible to dragon damage. Okay, and when you're fighting things like, say, the new 9-star Doshiguma, it is also not resistant to dragon damage. Whereas if you were to use something like fire, ice, thunder, typically there's going to be some sort of resistance. Raydao, Arch-Tempered Raydao, he is resistant to thunder because he is thunder, but he's weak, or not weak rather, to dragon. Instead of sitting there being super effective or not very effective, dragon 9 times out of 10 is right in the middle, or it's super effective. Super important to remember, okay? On top of that, we are rocking it with Elemental Focus. Elemental Focus on Dual Blades is crazy because of how they are re-engineering the elemental hit zone values of monsters, especially like Gogmazios. You are able to absolutely pump out some crazy amounts of damages. Okay, not only did they increase the elemental multiplier in Title Update 4, but because they're leaning back towards making element viable again, it is very important that when you are playing Dual Blades, you are more focusing into element than just raw damage, which is where this build comes into play. Okay, on your Dual Blades, you want to be going for Elemental Focus, unless it is a status applicator like Paralysis, or Blast, or Sleep. You want Elemental Focus. If it is not Elemental Focus and you are doing Status Applicator, go for Attack Focus, okay? There's not really a need to go for Affinity Focus with all of the Affinity boosting skills that we have, okay? Next up, the active skill here is the only real thing that matters, minus the Elemental boost down here in the reinforcement, and that is Raydow's Voltage. Raydow's Voltage is as follows. It gives you more latent power time active, which is really nice on something like Dual Blades, because latent power itself not only gives you an affinity bonus, but it also reduces your stamina depletion, which is really important on Dual Blades, especially with all of the buffs that they were given in Title Update 4. You might as well rock the weapon in its best state, and thankfully, Latent Power is one of the best skills for it, because not only does it hit the affinity mark, which most weapons want, but it also hits the stamina mark that Dual Blades specifically, and bow, want, okay? So, today we are rocking Raydao, Arch-Tempered Raydao, in the helmet, the chest, and the legs. The reason we're rocking all 3 of them mixed with our Raydow's Voltage Dual Blades is this gives us the 4-piece bonus. This is what I was talking about with the Gogma-Artian weapons. You were able to pump out all of the set bonus skills without committing completely. In fact, we wouldn't be able to take advantage of Razor's Edge and Adrenaline Rush from our 2-piece Sergios right here without having this setup, okay? Obviously, you can make the argument of going 4-piece Raydao to get that bonus, and then Sergios here. Either way works. This is what rolled for me, okay? And, at least in my opinion, is better, because you get Agitator, and you get Adrenaline Rush, okay? If you were to use other things, you don't get as many deco slots for one, and, at least in my opinion, the skills are not worth it, all right? So, Sergios and Raydao armor with a Master's Touch charm. This is not a requirement. you don't need Master's Touch. I decided to roll and go for Master's Touch, and that is because you are going to prevent your weapon from losing sharpness during critical hits. Not only did they make sharpness easier to manage on dual blades, but on top of that, because of how this build has been engineered, critting is really, really easy. But because we're taking advantage of the elemental bonuses, you don't need crit boost. Crit boost is for raw attack. Critical element, that's for the elemental attack. And though important, because of how much element this build pumps out, how much it has, it's kind of diminishing returns. Meaning, Master's Touch is super, super important. Okay? As well as our 2 expert jewels here. This build is definitely one of the smaller ones. We don't have nearly as many decoration slots to go through, but that's because we get everything that we need with really no trouble at all. Okay? So, here we have counterattack, counterattack, and then 2 throttle. You might be asking, why do we have latent power maxed out instead of adrenaline rush? Well, I'm going to tell you, this is the reason. The return that you get for the affinity bonus is plus 40% to plus 50%. That's an additional 10%, okay? Typically, that doesn't sound like a lot. But when you look at adrenaline rush, you only go up 5 raw attack. That 5 raw attack can be circumvented by just rolling more attack on your weapon itself. Because this is only attack boost 2, at least for me, I decided it was more important to have adrenaline rush be at level 4 than latent power, because I was going to get more bonuses because of how Master's Touch works, 80% when you hit crit, than having more raw attack all the time. Okay? Especially because adrenaline rush, though is nice, because of the Sergios gear that we are using, you are only able to activate it 1 additional time. Meaning there is eventually going to get to a point where it's just stacking over each other and it won't work anymore. So, Radau's voltage and latent power is more beneficial. Okay? Next up is we are rocking Sprinter Jewels. The reason we are rocking Sprinter Jewels is because Marathon Runner. Shout out to the one gentleman in my YouTube comments forever ago that corrected me on this because I was incorrect. This is really, really nice. And the reason this is really, really nice is because this by itself takes the amount of stamina that you would lose while in demon mode on dual blades and cuts it in half. Super, super important. Though Constitution is good when you are hitting your dashes, when you are hitting your dodges, but it is not a requirement. Marathon Runner, however, is also easier to keep up with because there's only 3 slots required. And when you mix it with something like, I don't know, latent power, you have now triggered latent power and stamina, or what is it? The not stamina surge, Marathon Runner. When you have both of them active, you reduce your depletion by 100%. It's almost like you're not in demon mode. Granted, you're still going to lose stamina, but the amount that you are going to lose is a fraction in comparison to not. And that is because the stamina management skills we have are crazy. Okay? Not to mention, you have Stamina Surge. This is for when you are doing your full Demon Flurry combo. When you are swapping between Demon and Archdemon mode, you are able to take full advantage because Stamina Surge should proc in between them. That way you start to get a little more stamina back. Okay? Last but not least, we have Shockproof and Enhancer. The reason we are rocking Enhancer is because we want to make sure that Power Prolonger is active. Power Prolonger is really, really nice, especially on weapons that need to stay powered up for longer. Dual Blades being one of them, okay? Granted, is it a requirement? No, but it is a definite little bit of a help, okay? It lets you manage through your ability without, or your demon mode ability, without sitting there just sapping it dry, okay? You don't have to worry about it draining when a monster transitions locales, okay? And then last but not least, Shockproof. Shockproof is just to make it to where you guarantee you're not messing anybody up and nobody else is messing you up. And this is specifically for my buddy that only uses dual blades. And I swear he sits there, he sees me on like a shielded weapon and goes, I'm going to go hit him with his shield out instead of hit the monster. Because there are so many times that I have to shout his name and remind him like, hey, you're hitting me too. This is for all of you that sit there and play dual blades and you do the same thing to your friends. Okay? Last but not least, we have Dragon Enhancer and 2 Expert Jewels. The reason we are rocking the Expert Jewels is because when you mix everything together, you have a natural 20% affinity, okay? Mix that with Latent Power. When Latent Power is active, you're at 70% affinity. Mix that with Agitator, you have an additional 5%, 75% total affinity. And weakness exploit, when you are hitting weak spots, because you kind of sit in place on dual blades more, you have 80% affinity just sitting there. Maximum might will occasionally be active, but it's not something you should be relying on. Overall, with Marathon Runner, with the latent power, with Adrenaline Rush, you are able to pump out a crazy amount of damage. In fact, what we're going to do is we're going to go over to our boy Luke, and we're going to end up showcasing all of it. So latent power 2, or latent power 5, agitator 2. Go ahead and pull it out. There's Adrenaline Rush active. Let's get our perfect dodge bonus real quick. There we go. And Razor's Edge has been active. So when we start doing our damage here, we'll just do our normal Blade Dance Flurry. You can see here, when we do Blade Dance 3, our final 2 attacks hit for 170 damage. And I want you to look for a second. I've let go of my keyboard and my mouse. Do you see how slow that stamina is draining? You have nothing to worry about. Thanks to Power Prolonger, you also don't have to worry about your dual blades depleting. We have been sitting here for the last 15 seconds talking, and my stamina is not even half. Okay? And then the second I undo it, thanks to Stamina Surge, it immediately goes back up. Okay? Not only that, we have 85% affinity, 283 raw attack, 516 element. Okay? And this is with unoptimized elemental dual blades. Okay? So, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to fully charge up, hit the dash, and you can see 318 and 75%. Let's go ahead and exit focus mode, and we're going to go ahead and do our Blade Dance combo. You can see here, with one full combo to Blade Dance 3, we're able to do 2,686 damage. Not only that, I want you to take a look at our Sharpness bar that we have not touched since I started showcasing on the dummy, and our stamina once again. We have 318 attack, 75 element, or 75 affinity, 516 element. Our stamina doesn't deplete nearly as quick as it should be. On top of that, we have Power Prolonger to keep our dual blades powered up, and our sharpness management is off the charts. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my Dragon Dual Blades build, and holy crap, is it nuts. Thank you all for coming and watching. Thank you all for hanging out. Don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, don't forget to subscribe. If you guys are as interested as I am in Title Update 4, as well as other games, don't forget that I stream most nights over on Twitch at twitch.tv/SnyperSama. Thank you all for coming and watching. Thank you all for hanging out. I'll see all of you in the next one. Farewell.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.